Welcome to our lesson on how to identify intervals by ear. Now, this is a topic that tons of music classes around the world kind of throw to their students, and they expect them to do well. And it's really a struggle for a lot of students. And we're going to dissect this topic and really break it down so that you can be successful every single time. And so the first thing, and I know you're going to see a lot of videos that talk about some of these things, but there's going to be some extra things that I talk about that you won't see in other videos. And so the first thing that a lot of videos start with is they start with trying to identify the intervals. And so there's 12 basic intervals that we need to identify. And we're going to start with the first one. It's called a perfect unison. And what that essentially is the same note twice. So for example, if I play F and then I play F again. Same note. Same note. So that would be a perfect unison. Now, we're not really going to use a song for that. It's pretty simple to identify. If it sounds the same, well, it's perfect unison. Okay? And most people have no trouble with that. But the rest of them are where things get a little bit tricky. So we're going to take a look and match songs to each of these intervals. And the key thing is not just to match the song, but it's also to be able to sing the songs yourself. Okay, so part of identifying notes is to be able to sing those notes. And because when your instructor plays an interval, if you don't remember the notes, then you can't keep singing through the songs in order to identify what the song is. So your first step, if you have trouble with even just humming or reproducing the notes, is to do that. And so I'm going to show you a method. I call it the scoop up or the scoop down method. And I'm just going to play a note. And what we're going to do is we're going to either start really low. So for my voice, I'm going to start really low. If you have a higher voice, start high and come down. So I'm going to start low and go up to that note until I match it. So watch this. So now I can hear that my note is the note that I'm singing is matching the note that I'm hearing. Okay, I'll do it again. I'll go even higher. Right there. Okay, so it kind of went across my vocal break. But you want to scoop until you hear that the note sounds exactly the same. So let's go through. Let's start with our minor second. And the minor second, we're going to use a song. It's a theme song, actually, or not a theme song. It's from a famous movie in the 80s called Jaws, and it goes like this. And so on and so forth. So it's really creepy. It's kind of when the shark is chasing people and things like that. There's another theme song that we can actually use. It goes like this. Okay, so ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Okay, the Pink Panther. So those are two songs that you can use. Now, when you're practicing this, what I highly suggest is that you use a website called musictheory.net. I'm going to show you that right now. So when you get to musictheory.net, you're going to see this page. And what I suggest that you go to exercises and then go all the way to the bottom. Now it says for teachers, but this will actually be really useful for you. So exercise customizer, I can't speak right now. And it will show up like this. And what we want to do is we actually want to work on intervals one at a time. So I would start just by identifying unisons. Okay, now it's really easy, of course. But once you kind of get unisons, then maybe add unison and minor second and see if you can hear the difference between them. Okay, so I'll go back and help you set up the rest of this so that you can have a little test. Set the speed to slower. Okay, I think by default it's something else. And it should basically look like this. So immediately, challenge mode, I would turn on to say 1 minute. And it will give you a whole bunch of questions. You have a time limit of 1 minute. You can set it to whatever you want. I think, yeah, it goes up to 30 minutes. That's pretty long to be doing this stuff. All right, and so you can set multiple attempts to on, just in case you get it wrong. Okay, so it's not going to go on until you get it right, which is decent. And then when you set things up, you can just click on this link down here and it will start the challenge. So I can already hear the Jaws theme. So minor second, Jaws again. Okay, that sounds like the same note, so unison. So this really allows you to practice and really hone your skills, okay? And what I would suggest, let's just go back to the piano. What I would suggest is that you practice singing, and I think I said this before, you practice singing the songs. Ba-dum, ba-dum, or if you're using Jaws, ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Okay? Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Okay, or ba-dum, ba-dum. So practice hearing those songs, no matter what key you start on. If you don't have a piano, there's online piano keyboards and things like that that you can practice with. But practicing yourself and trying to sing those songs is very, very important, because your teacher or whoever's testing you is going to give you those two notes. And that's it. And you have to cycle through a whole bunch of songs in your head. So if you practice singing them and try to remember it as you're getting tested, just hum in your head or hum slightly out loud. Hopefully it will jog the song back to your memory. All right, let's move on a little quicker now. Let's talk about major seconds. So for major second, I like to use Happy Birthday or Silent Night. Happy birthday to you. It's always the first two notes. Okay, let's try on a different note. Happy birthday. So your teacher might say something like this. Bono, happy birthday. Okay, or you can try Silent Night. So let's try another one. Silent Night. It's very important to hear it and practice singing those songs. Let's move on to minor third. Now, I live in Canada, so our national anthem has a minor third right at the beginning. Okay, it sounds like this. So, oh, Canada. All right. So, if you're in Canada, that's a perfect one to use because everybody knows the national anthem, of course. But if you're not in Canada, then I suggest Greensleeves, which is also known as What Child Is This? A very famous Christmas song. It goes like this. Sorry. So what child is this? Okay, and so on and so forth. So I suggest that one. Or if you want something that's maybe a little older, but a really popular song, one of my favorite songs by Ray Charles, it's called George on My Mind. It goes like this. And so on. So this brings me to a really important point. Let's say you don't know any of these songs. That doesn't mean that you can't learn the songs. And I highly suggest that you would take some of these, take whatever song that you think is interesting and learn it. Now, I'm going to show you a website. And this website contains a ton of different ideas and example songs for each interval. And so I suggest that you take one of these, and I'll kind of show these as we go through the various intervals. Go to this website, take a look, listen to the YouTube link, and decide for yourself what songs you like the best, and study that song. And that's it. Okay, so we're done with minor thirds. Let's go to major thirds. So my favorite songs to choose for this would be Oh When the Saints. It goes like this. So I'll start on a different note. So that's what a major third sounds like. Ba-da. So here's the song. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Let's try it in a different note. Can you hear the song? Oh, when the saints. That's what you need to be able to identify every single time you hear a major third. Okay, so that's that. Let's go on. Now, there's another song that we can use for major third. It's Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Okay, so that's another idea for you. Perfect fourth. Here we go. Amazing Grace or Here Comes the Bride. So Amazing Grace sounds like this. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Okay, and so on and so forth. Or Here Comes the Bride, very, very famous song that people used to use a lot at weddings. It's kind of growing out of style a little bit, but still used here and there. So it goes like this. So Amazing Grace or Here Comes the Bride. So. And so on. All right, so that's our perfect fourth. Let's go on to the tritone. Now this one is actually, it has a couple different names. It's sometimes called a diminished fifth or an augmented fourth or tritone. And so you might, depending on where you're studying, any one of those three might be used. Okay, so be prepared for that. So there's a couple different songs that have this. One of the most famous ones, if you've ever watched this TV show, it's been on TV for, I think, over 20 years now. It's The Simpsons. So it goes like this. The Simpsons, right at the beginning. Okay, and that's why these songs are useful, because it's right at the beginning of the songs. The Simpsons, da 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 da. Okay, so tritone right there. Here's another one. And what you're going to know about the tritone is it's very, very unstable, meaning it always wants to bump up. So if you listen to it, bum, bum, it always wants to go bum, and resolve right there. Okay, so hopefully you can hear that. That will be a really, really good way for you to identify. There's only a couple intervals that want to push up, and then there's one that wants to always kind of push down. And we'll go over that. So the other one would be from an older, I guess, musical called West Side Story. It's a song called Maria. So it goes like this. Maria, I once met a girl named Maria, something like that. Okay, once again, there's a link. You can check it out on YouTube. Take one of the songs, memorize it, learn it, and make that your song. There's other examples as well, I'm sure, but make that your song for the tritone. Okay, let's go on to perfect fifth. So my favorite ones to use would be the Star Wars theme. And everybody kind of knows this. So it's those first two notes once again. Ba-da. Once again, try another notes. Bum, bum. Even try singing it without playing the two notes. Bum, bum. Now the other version, another song that a lot of people know, especially since, with little kids, we sing this song to them. It's the ABCD/Twinkle Twinkle song. Okay, or ba 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 da da. Either one works really well. Let's go on to minor sixth. So a minor sixth, this is a tricky interval. Okay, it really is, and I really struggled to find some songs. You'll see a list of songs. I don't really think that any of them are particularly identifiable. So I'm going to give you a couple different options, and so the first one is The Entertainer. Okay. Now it's not right from the beginning of the song, and that's what makes it a little tricky. But it goes like this. Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-ba-da. Okay, sorry I can't play, but I think it starts like that. Okay, so that jumping part is the part that you want to remember. That's a minor sixth. My go-to song would be a song by Usher called Yeah, came out way back in the early 2000s. And there's a synth part that's really, really famous. Now, once again, if you're born in the last 10 years, if you're born in the last 20 years, maybe 15 years, you might not know the song that well, but it has a very famous synth riff. It goes like this. Okay, so the synth kind of sounds something like that. And it's that second time, so that's actually a perfect fifth. So the second time is the minor sixth. So you can actually use this song for both perfect fifth and minor sixth. So see how that's a perfect fifth? That's your minor sixth right there. So you can use that song. You can use The Entertainer. Or you can try another song. Now, these songs, once again, not as maybe universally known and a little bit older, but these, if you know these songs, you can kind of connect the dots to get there. So there's a famous song by Neo called 1 in a Million. It goes like this. So it goes, so 1 in a million you are. And so on. Take a look at it. 1 in a million. Now it's the chorus of that song. And when you sing from so 1 in from so to that's your minor sixth. So you kind of have to skip through a couple of notes, but that's another way to get there. And there's a lot of songs that use this pattern. Okay, I can think of another Neo song called Part of the List. It goes, style of your hair, the shape of your eyes and your nose. Okay, one of my favorite songs by Neo. Once again, there's a lot of songs from the 2010 era that use that sort of pattern. So, okay. That's our minor sixth, a tricky one, really, really tricky. Major sixth, okay? I prefer to use My Bonnie, or you can use Hush Little Baby. So, my Bonnie lies over the ocean, really old song. Or Hush Little Baby. Either one works really, really well. Let's go on to minor seventh. Now, for this one, I didn't actually have a song myself. And when I started teaching this one class, I found this song on that website, and I actually started to really, really like the song. And it has a whole series of minor sevenths in its chorus. And it's called The Winner Takes It All by ABBA. Older song. I never knew it before this. But here's our minor seventh. So the chorus goes, the winner takes it all. Ba-ba-da-ba-na. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Or something like that. Once again, don't know the song exactly too well, but it's chock full of minor sevenths. Ba-ba-na-na. And remember what I was talking about with minor sevenths, or with certain intervals, they want to go up or they want to push down. This is one of those that wants to push down. Listen to the melody. It wants to go down. It wants to resolve there. Okay, so minor sixths want to always drop. Okay, let's try this on another note. The winner takes it all. All right, so that's a great example of a minor sixth. Okay, we're almost done. Major seventh. Now, this one also a little bit tricky, but it also has a resolution pattern. It wants to go up. Okay, so I'll play a major seventh. And there's a song that has it. It's not right at the beginning of the chorus, but it's kind of in the second little bit of the chorus. So it goes, take a, right there. So take, ba, ba. Okay. And I think the song's called Take On Me. Once again, it's on this list. And it's that second part, the ba, ba. And you notice that when we stop on that note, it wants to go up. So that's how I remember the major seventh, that it wants to always resolve to the octave. Okay, the last song. Perfect octave, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So somewhere over the rainbow, and so on. So your teacher might play somewhere. Okay, and so on. So those are the 12 intervals that usually you have to learn. Now, sometimes you have to learn them also in reverse or descending order. And my strategy when I was a student learning this stuff and taking tests and all that kind of stuff was always just to reverse the notes in my head and then use the ascending songs. You'll see on the website that they have a new list of descending songs, right? So for like minor second, it's... Okay, so... But I would just go, so if your teacher plays, I just reverse it. Ba-no. And then I hear Jaws. Or I hear Pink Panther. All right, so I would kind of ignore the descending ones, unless you want to memorize a whole new list of songs, which is up to you. But if you practice singing it enough, you'll be able to reverse those notes. And if we go back to musictheory.net, you'll see that you can actually, so let me just show you this, play mode, you can actually do descending as well. So you can just do descending, or you can set it to only ascending. If you have to do descending, then put it on descending, practice by singing it in reverse. So for example, I might go here. Okay, so that's unison. That's also unison. There we go. Ba-da, I'll just sing it reverse. Ba-da, Jaws, right? Minor second. So very easy when we only have two that it's choosing from. So that's why, I would suggest that you go and you add them gradually until you can kind of build up some confidence and really get these down. So just the first two, then just the first three, then just or you can even, choose random ones. And as you build up your confidence, if there's one that you always really struggle on, then just work on that maybe with a couple others. So let's say minor six, it always gets me every time. I suck at the minor six. I would put that with a couple ones that I'm okay at. Okay, so maybe just look those four, and it will help me get better at the minor sixth, and then gradually add more until you have everything down. And that would be my strategy for this. Okay, so spend some time doing all that, and use music theory to help you. I suggest using songs because I think that's probably one of the best ways to do it. And that's pretty much it. Go slow, take your time, add one at a time until you really perfect it and you know deep down that you know what those intervals are. All right, good luck, all the best, have fun.